In the last 15 seconds before this show goes live, we always have the most interesting conversations that can't be said on the air.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to get canceled today.
Yeah, no. So, what we're going to talk about instead of getting canceled, we've got a lot of stuff. It's going to be a downer of a show, I think,
Really?
but we're going to try to make it light and happy because there's some good news at the end. So, the headlines are such. By the way, I'm Mark Hopkins. This is Merge Roundtable. I'm with Dina Abdul and Jim Durbin. And we're going to be talking about some news that happened in the last 2 weeks because we were gone for a week. Coinbase is reporting receiving around 13,000 law enforcement requests a year. If you have a Coinbase account, that's probably not great news because, yeah. The trends in IP appear to be tending back towards copyright holders. Copyright monopolies are good, apparently. That's because of AI. Everything's AI's fault. Warrantless wiretaps are back, baby. AT&T is just giving them everything they want. And Janet Yellen is a Bond villain. That's my headline. Anti-Semitism from Elon Musk. That has been big in the news for like the last 2 weeks. But it's not all bad news. Henry Kissinger died. So we're going to come back after this and talk about it. Stay tuned. Yeah. So, no, that was, Henry Kissinger. We can start out with that.
Nobody knows who that is anymore.
Why? We're not that elderberry. We're not that old.
He's been memified. Like the younger generations know who he is because
Was he on Netflix?
Well, there's a popular meme that goes around. It's like the Grim Reaper with one of those claw machine, like one of those arcade claw machines, and he's like, is Henry Kissinger even in this thing? Every time somebody important dies, that meme trots around. It's like, I don't know, like Ric Flair, is Henry Kissinger even in this thing? You know,
I saw one this morning that cracked me up. It said Henry Kissinger, and then somebody else who just died was very old as well. I can't remember. There's somebody else who was like 100.
Jimmy Carter's wife.
So and so lived to 100, and you guys are out there taking athletic greens or drinking wheatgrass.
Right. Well, I don't know. The Carters might have been doing that too because they're of the era, right? That was the hippie.
Do you want to live to 100?
I don't know. Dennis Leary's got this old bit about like the last 10, 20 years are the worst ones, so smoke cigarettes now, you know?
There it is. There's the meme.
Shouldn't you do them at the end, though?
Just wait till you're 80 and just like do all the vices.
That's when you do the drugs, is at 80.
Yeah.
You're trying to clear
Later on?
out. Yeah, you're trying to clear out. If you do it young, you've messed up. You're building bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
You're setting all your genetic issues in front of it. But if you
Do it
get
later.
fat, drink a lot, and do drugs after 80, that sounds amazing.
Right.
You're already funny. No one's going to care.
All I know is that I don't mind how long I live for. I hope he hears me up there. But I don't want to be dependent on anybody. Like if someone has to take me to the restroom, I can't do it. Just
Who's that weird transhumanist guy?
Oh,
Can you
Ray
be more
Kurzweil?
specific?
No, like alive, like the guy right now doing the baby blood.
Yeah. Spend all that money.
wait, what?
It's not baby blood. It's all fecal transplants.
I'll
That's what
find it.
works.
Fecal? Okay, I'm done. Let's go.
That's a fascinating. No, there's a fascinating thing. We'll have to come back to that.
I know,
'cause
like if you drink your own urine or something.
No, something like that. You instead of getting blood, it's a blood boy thing. So that it's you get a son or you get someone young and you replace the blood for the old. So he has his father doing it, he's doing it, and his son is doing it to see can you reverse aging by putting blood, which kind of seems like
I thought it was
sciencey. It
the
might
thing.
work. It doesn't. But
Sciencey.
yeah, these guys, right?
Yeah.
But fecal transplants work, where you take an Olympic athlete because it's gut bacteria,
Right.
and they put it up you.
This
and
was
then
on
it changes your gut.
the Jess Marshall show yesterday too. They were talking about gut health for like an hour. Or for
And so
like 30
Olympic
minutes.
poop is going to be the new Bitcoin. But here's the
I'm
bigger
so
thing.
confused.
Yeah, they
Please
take poop and they
explain.
put it up your butt.
But isn't the whole point is to get it out? I'm so
No, but
confused.
by putting it in, it changes the colony of bacteria in your colon and your stomach. So like if you were growing up, like this is a big problem with minority communities. This is the whole food desert stuff from 40 years ago. If you grew up eating at convenience stores, eating Midwest mashed potatoes,
Yeah.
it's much harder for you down the road to be healthy because your body's trained to do different things.
Yeah.
And if you can fix that, like fix a lifetime of bad decisions or just a poor parent with Olympic poop,
Yeah.
it solves it. But here's the question I want to know.
It's the new stem
Who
cell.
is the person who came up with that idea and what did they say?
Honestly,
You know, it'd be great. Shut up, Tom. You're so gross. Why are you? And then it turns out to be right.
Yeah. Seems like a 4chan thing. It started out as a prank and then it ended up being reality.
this just baffles me right now.
Yeah.
Well, he was the one talking about Kissinger.
It's true. It's true. We went
love
to the
how that-
dessert before we went to the meal and we decided
We could,
Gross.
if we could play music, we
not
could have
anywhere near dessert.
Do You Want to Live Forever from Queen, but no, we can't do that on this show.
Yeah.
Thanks, YouTube.
You can sing it.
I think not.
Jen and I in the other room had this great, just riff that we were on about Henry Kissinger being kind of like the Michael Jordan of war criminals. Because how many years did it take for someone to achieve a level of success with war crimes, to actually get a Nobel Prize for war criminality? I mean, at least in the executive branch, right? I mean, Cheney got close, right? But
Did he?
I mean, he never got a Nobel Prize, but he's involved in a lot of, I would say, war crimes.
So is
Abu
it
Ghraib and the one in Cuba. What's that one called? Guantanamo Bay.
so is there a level of competition that these?
It seems like it.
I hope
You
not.
think so? I do.
And it obviously contributes to long life. Cheney's still alive. Kissinger lived to 100. I mean, we need to be, stepping up the game. It's not about fecal transplants.
So you're saying
Murder of
we
Innocence.
should?
Fantastic. Yeah, that's.
I feel like this is
so
going on.
dark. So dark. And we didn't roll in any conspiracies. I've yet to bring any of them up. I feel like I'm doing good because I want to say the A word. I'm going to say the A word so bad.
Well, speaking of conspiracy theories, this is in the actual news for the last 2 weeks. Elon Musk got in trouble for he admitted he probably shouldn't have in a subsequent interview this week, but admitted he got in trouble. I think he just didn't read what was being said. The guy was all over this thread, basically espousing white genocide theory, which is a kind of a bizarre conspiracy theory, not really taken seriously by most scholarly people. And the tweet that he replied with was, "This is actually true," and got in a lot of trouble. Lost like 17% of advertising dollars over the course of the week. IBM pulled out, and Ford, I think, is a big brands, whatever. I don't remember the exact list of brands, but it's big brands. Then he gets on Dealbook this week, which is the big New York Times kind of conference around venture capital investing and finance and business, and is one of the keynote fireside chats, and turns around to the audience and literally says, go fuck yourself, advertisers. If you're trying to financially blackmail me by telling me what I can and can't say, literally. So if you Google search the phrase GFY, it is all Elon Musk now. Like he has, I mean, I don't know if people weren't saying it before, but he's brought it back. It is now the Elon phrase. And there's a lot of people that are supporting, like, look at this. That's just the news, but you scroll down to the actual results, it's all Elon related.
Right.
So
There's this guy 2 feet who apparently has a great song called that.
maybe,
So I have a question.
yes.
Can you define what the statement that gentleman was making exactly is? You said white supremacy. Like what was it? What did you
It's
call
called
it?
white. It's the idea that white genocide, the idea that there is a concerted effort by some elite controlling group of policy organizers. You can say that they're, there's
The
different theories.
Illuminati, the Rothschilds, some other Jewish
Yeah,
family,
yeah.
the protocols. I mean, whatever conspiracy they've thrown out, the super rich alien reptile people running
the
planet
reptiles, whatever they are.
are trying to get all rid of the white countries.
Yeah. And it's,
By the way, I don't
They're
think
they're
Irish
trying
and
to get rid of the
Italy appreciate
white
being called white, by the way.
countries?
yeah.
Oh, wait,
Yes,
they're trying to
Dina,
get rid
white
of.
genocide is the concept of a supposed genocide towards white people that, it goes down to like society becoming more brown, intermarriage, all the way up
Isn't
to
that
the
kind of the
reptiles.
opposite of numbers?
Well, they're bringing the idea is here's the problem. This is like talking about it's that joke where someone says you're not pedophiles are attracted to children, but a heba or one ebiphile or something is
14 and
like
up
15,
or something.
16. You can't have that conversation without somebody going, dude, stop touching kids.
Yeah.
This is that. So the actual argument still relies on a lot of bad facts. And Musk just walked into that one.
Yeah.
So is it anti-Semitism? Did he really mean to say white genocide? They're just saying they're moving lots of people here to the West. So some of them think, oh, they want it for voters or they want it for cheap labor.
If you look at the thread, you can see it's like it was almost a dog whistle thread that he walked into without reading. But if you look at all the context that this one particular guy was saying, if you look at all his other replies, I mean, he was a white supremacist or a Christian supremacist. That was his position. Like he's like one of those weird like right-wing Catholic Christian supremacists, if my memory serves.
Well, hopefully the FBI's going to that.
Well, okay, but like, I mean, we'll talk about the warrantless wiretap later.
So my other question is, do you feel like Elon Musk kind of made the statement towards the advertisers as a personal? I feel like it was more of like an ego situation.
He's talking
of like
specifically about the attempts to shut Twitter down by far left-wing groups that hate the fact that Twitter's no longer.
But I think he's conflating a bunch of things, right? Because all these
100%.
These advertisers definitely left because of this one tweet, right? But he's like, well, everyone's after me because I said this one thing, and they're all like, they're just trying to pose a woke
it's
agenda.
Also bullshit. Come on, man. Amazon runs all kinds of horrible things. Facebook has all kinds of terrible things. YouTube has all. How come no one's yelling about those?
Because
the idea that advertising is anything but political warfare, we have to quit pretending it's about money or protecting your brand.
Because Zuckerberg has the good sense to keep his mouth shut on stuff like that.
But Facebook pushes pedophile stuff. So why is anybody advertising on Meta? Because if there's one,
don't make me defend Facebook.
But see, that's the problem. They're going after Musk and letting all these other people do it, acting like he's singularly bad.
Well, because
and of course he stepped into it. You can't defend the fact that he wasn't. Why are you talking about that stuff anyway?
It's like rainbow capitalism, right? Like I'm not a fan of like, corporate capitalism is still corporate capitalism. Don't pretend like it's the ideology that's wrapped around any corporation is strictly to move more units, to sell more widgets or whatever. It's not about actually what they believe.
Make more money for themselves.
Right. So
they have a fiduciary duty to do that.
So, but because Elon is being blatantly offensive to a large plurality of core customers for IBM, which is a very progressive Democrat brand. I've been an IBM futurist. I know their internal company culture. They're very progressive internally, and they move units because they're very progressive internally. They can't be associated with somebody that is very clearly stepping on political landmines.
He made the normies angry. Someone who wasn't paying attention would see it just like you pointed out and be like, wow, I didn't know he was anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not is a different story.
Correct.
But he did step into it. But then this people jump on it. It's like Fox News back in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, it becomes
that's
culture
what
war
social
stuff.
media is right now. It's for people to jump on. I mean, I'm guilty of it. It's you see something, you be like, oh my God, I got to say something. And it can take you into a really, really deep
Here's
hole.
This billionaire that we'll never meet, don't have any real impact on our lives currently, but let's hate on what's
I thought
going
he was
on
giving
there.
away billions of dollars to everybody.
Is that
Or is
Cuban?
that Bitcoin?
Cuban might be
Bitcoin.
doing that. Why are we talking about Cuban instead of Musk?
Well, aren't we talking?
We're in Dallas.
Yeah, because
Oh, God.
Elon Musk dominated the news cycle for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he
but Cuban is. I mean, if you want to talk about Cuban, he's selling the Mavericks. I don't know.
Sold.
If that's, yeah,
Sold.
to the Adelson family.
Oh, wow.
Because they're going to build casinos in Texas if it gets legalized to have casinos in Texas.
Such a bad idea.
It's not legal here?
It is on certain waterways.
Yeah. I was going
They
to say.
did that in
there's
Missouri where they call it a waterway, and they would basically build a pond.
literally a lake. Or
They do like a
man-made.
2-foot thing to the river.
Yeah.
It's like 2 miles, and it's, this is a riverboat casino. And then eventually they gave up trying to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For education.
There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah. It's a different set of
I feel
billionaires.
like Musk just kind of, when he made that statement to the advertisers was, I can't say the F word. My kids are probably going to be watching, but I think it sounded more of an ego. Like, I don't care. I have all the money in the world, and if you're gonna blackmail me with money, then it is what it is. Like,
can I also
felt
quibble
like,
on the
Sounded more like
grammar
Breitbart.
too? It's not blackmail. It's extortion.
Oh,
Blackmail implies he committed a crime, and you keep the crime private unless you do a certain thing. Extortion is you do what I want, or I'm not going to give you the money, or I'm going to make
maybe
you pay
there's
me.
something we don't know yet.
I think that's the weakest part of his argument. That's like saying if I go to a dinner, order food, and eat it, that the restaurant is blackmailing by making me pay when I'm done. I mean, it's not a very good argument. I mean, I get where he's going. He's like, these guys are trying to ruin us because we took away their toy. And they can't afford to have any other narrative out there. That's his whole pitch. That's the free speech.
Right.
That's quit letting governments tell you what to do. But then it's not.
Yeah, and then he travels overseas.
Corporations are people too. It's their free speech. Where do they want their money to be?
Yeah. Brilliant.
He doesn't have free speech on his own. The one person that talks about free speech, he doesn't have free speech.
He's pretty free to speak his mind.
Not really, no.
I mean, he can speak whatever, but that doesn't. He's free. He's not free of the consequences.
Can't do it in
He's
Ireland.
not free of the consequences.
He cannot do it in Ireland. That's for sure.
He obviously can't do it in Israel either.
I had a buddy of mine who was over in Germany, and he made a comment the other day that he was surprised that they didn't have any of the Hamas rallies, and then he remembered the German laws against talking about anything.
Yeah.
But there were no mass demonstrations in Germany, is what he said.
Right, of either side, because you can't really touch that topic.
Yeah.
There's a great.
That's what we should do. Lock everybody down and don't let them say anything. That's the way to go about it, I think.
Well, I mean, this is Germany
it's
we're talking
happening
about. Like the
anyway.
Norm Macdonald bit. Like we're lucky we even let them still be a country. They went to war with the world twice, and it was. You'd think that'd be over pretty quickly, but it was actually kind of close.
It was closer than people, yeah.
And then the second time around, they had that guy, with a Heine Klein. I'm ripping off Norm Macdonald's bit right now.
I like Dave Chappelle's better.
Yeah, but it's.
Have you been reading about this? This is a bad dude.
I'm not a student of history, but this.
He was like 20 when he did that too.
That guy, that Heine Klein guy, not a good guy. I don't know if I'm loud.
My favorite Norm joke is when he says he's talking to his cardiologist, and his cardiologist says, "How fat?" I says, "You're so fat." He goes, "How fat?" I'm fat. How fat are you? You're so fat. If you don't fix something in like 2 months, you're gonna have a stroke or a heart attack or something bad is gonna happen.
Yeah.
The guy goes, "I don't get it. What's the joke?"
That's not
He
very
goes,
funny. It's not a comedian.
My cardiologist is not a comedian. You're expecting him to be. That was so brilliant. It was so brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
We should just play Norm Macdonald clips for the rest of the show.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Or we're just trying not to get fired.
Y'all can't see me.
I can't get fired too. That's the funny part.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun place to be. Okay, so here's another thing that I found was interesting this week. Janet Yellen. Do we have any of the clips from the Janet Yellen stuff? I don't know if you got those links and whatnot. Janet Yellen.
I'll pull it up.
Janet
He's
Yellen.
laughing and then he'll.
So there was a bunch of stuff that happened in the world of crypto, and I'll set it up while he's pulling up the clip. But basically, the biggest crypto exchange in the world is Binance. The CEO of Binance is a guy named CZ. Everybody called him CZ. It's a long Chinese name that I won't try to pronounce because I'll get it wrong. But everyone thought that they were going to successfully defend these criminal and civil allegations from the SEC, just like everybody else has.
Right.
They're either going to have a long, drawn-out battle like Ripple did. But things are getting serious. The DOJ is getting very, very serious about trying to destroy crypto, and they have strong-armed Binance. Partially, I think, due to the story we talked about a couple weeks ago with Elizabeth Warren and the Wall Street Journal allegations about Hamas funding going through crypto.
Right.
They've strong-armed Binance into forcing CZ to step down, paying $4 billion in fines and restitution to the SEC.
That's a big fine for the SEC.
CZ himself had to plead personally guilty to major crimes like money laundering and wire fraud and a whole bunch of other things that were frankly not true. But much like in my case, I had to plead to some stuff that may have been technically true, but not true. There was no mens rea. There was no intent to commit a crime. In fact, Binance historically has been one of the most positive actors in the crypto industry because they maintain a fund for people that are scammed, not even by through their organizational properties, but people that are scammed in general to make people whole. So other DeFi projects where problems have arisen, if a customer of Binance has been affected, they'll try to make them whole out of that. They call it the Seifu Fund. He's been a good actor for crypto, and the DOJ and the SEC specifically forced him to what may be a 15-month to 25-year sentence. We don't know yet.
Wow.
They're restricting his travel, so it's likely that some sort of criminal penalty in prison is going to come up out of this. Anyway,
I don't know what clip you're talking about, so I pulled this up. I don't know.
Oh, this is the funny one. She can't pronounce Binance. It was the one that was on that thread. I said, does this sound like a good guy? This is her just saying Binance.
Maybe we need younger people in government.
Binance.
She's so little.
I like her voice, for real.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
going to
just
become
do
a
it.
song.
How is it not?
That's a whole verse right now.
But if you got the
Binance.
Twitter thread up, so basically she called people in crypto and CZ a Bond villain. Because they do this thing that this editorial is called them Bond villains, but they're basically saying you're jurisdictionally hopping to try to skirt compliance laws. Well, the fact of the matter is, and you know this from my history, Jim, because we've talked about my OTC practice in the past, is banks unfairly try to shut down crypto people. And so you're constantly trying to hop from bank to bank and jurisdiction to jurisdiction as a crypto company or a crypto user just to maintain basic services. And that's all Binance has been trying to do for the last 5 or 6 years. They're painting this as a form of fraud that's
Right.
liabilities of up to billions and billions of dollars. And then Janet Yellen, who has no connection to the lawsuit, came out on the tails of this enforcement action and said, if you want to enjoy the benefits of American markets and banking services, you must adhere to American financial regime best practices. This was her phrase. And that the general, this is where I say she's the real Bond villain, is because this is the idea of
Because of the white hair.
well, it kind of does help the look, but the idea that
more
the
like the
general
costume
press,
designer
Wall
from
Street
The
Journal,
Incredibles.
New York Times, and even independent bloggers like
No
this
case.
Substack writer is painting CZ as the bad guy. Does Janet Yellen's statement sound like the statement of a good guy?
No.
No.
It just sounds like someone making something up so they can.
It sounds like you're going to do it my way or the highway.
Justification. Yeah.
You know?
Justification. But yeah, it just sounds like very common. It's not. Is it extortion? Are we going to say it's extortion?
I feel like
or
it's
blackmail?
extortion is the
Is
phase
it
that praise this week.
extortion if the government does it?
I mean, they're doing it at the point of a gun. It's extortion of the highest order.
But isn't everything done like that across the street?
That's what I was saying.
Did I
Oh
put
my
a gun
God,
at you
Phil.
guys to get you here?
No,
I
you're
don't
not the
know. You
government.
kind of said no. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. You did give me the option.
So
It doesn't sound good for it. It's actually pretty horrific to have them come out and talking on case. We're not allowed to talk about cases, but oh, by the way, these are bad people that are Bond villains. That is typical for today.
It's extremely. Thank you for making that point. We're not even going to relate it to whatever is going on, but it is exactly how things have been handled the last 400 or 500 years. So it
not
is
the last 400 or 500, more like
I'm talking about-
1500 years ago.
No, I'm talking about
in
this country.
Yeah.
How old is America?
Let's see. When are you going to pick the founding? Jamestown, or are you going to go
This is a great-
1776,
Oh, definitely not.
1789? I mean,
Let me call my son.
it
He knows.
depends. I mean, the Articles of Confederation, you have the
I'm just saying.
Let me go
it's,
check my
it's-
history books.
It's how everything was
mean, my-
founded.
Ancestry chart.
yeah,
And,
The Mayflower Compact.
half of those people died.
Wow.
The problem is it's the way that it's pitched, and somehow that the idea of the government picking up this morality. And what happens is they've reached a point where they know no one's listening. That joke I made about
So it's almost comedic.
well,
Well, it actually is comedic.
satirizing themselves.
Yeah.
they they don't have power to move things the way they used to. They don't control the narrative. No government does, no company does. So they're all freaked out. So they sound crazier and crazier. It is literally like a crazy ex-spouse getting weirder and weirder because they've lost the ability to mess with you. So they say stupider and stupider things. The idea of that words coming out of any government official before 1990, I can't imagine that would have happened. Now they're just, and it's because they know no one cares. It's just a bizarre thing to watch them, and they think they're good people. That's the craziest
We
thing.
call them clowns.
Yeah.
They kind of entertain.
Now we get into all these, we can't say clown world because that's one of those
we can't
words
say
we don't wanna use.
clowns. At the circus,
that's
where they're
exactly-
made to entertain you, but
So
they're
there's
kind of
something
telling you what they are.
On the far fringes of the internet, they have something called clown world. So when
Wait,
you
what?
say clown, the problem is that's exactly what Musk would have walked into. Like, oh, she's a far right conspiracy theorist.
So we can't say clown.
Well, you
Jim,
can.
please
We
enlighten
can't-
me.
we
I
can't
thought I knew
use-
everything.
Please, yeah.
tell
So
me.
we can't use
know,
like
it
the
just
the
Well,
nerd.
it's a
OK
thing,
sign
yeah.
for Trump that everybody lost their minds about because they made the OK sign. It's supposed to be a sign of white supremacy.
Oh, so
Yeah,
they
I'm
just
gonna clip
correlate
you
it
doing
to
that.
that now.
Yeah, it was a joke they made up. That
Do it
some-
again so I can
the
focus.
reporter.
This is for the thumbnail.
The OK. Oh, yeah. It's that exact same kind of thing where it's just simply they're putting stuff out because they want you. No one's going to call them on it.
So I can't go to the circus anymore.
No, you can. You just can't say use the word clown world.
So I
talking
can't.
Anyway,
You might be able to. I can't.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I can't more than you.
I'm okay because I never followed, liked, or retweeted Donald Trump, so I'm not under
Oh
investigation.
no, it's under a whole different topic now. It's not even Trump.
Warrantless wiretaps is also on the agenda today. So you wouldn't know if you're under investigation, perhaps, because a Freedom of Information request would only pull up warrants, right, and things that are in your paper. Turns out AT&T has decided to open up the registry through something called the Hemisphere Project, and there's been, a senator complained. A senator had to complain about this, that American law enforcement agencies have been routinely snooping on U.S. citizens and residents without regard to privacy and provisions of the Fourth Amendment because they're no longer requesting via subpoenas of data and judge approved warrants of data. They're just simply purchasing it from AT&T. AT&T has made it for sale. It's not illegal to buy data. It's illegal to request it and demand it without a
It's illegal
warrant.
to request it, but it's not illegal to buy. So how do you know? I'm so confused. If I want to buy something from you, I'm gonna ask you if it's for sale. Is that illegal
It's not illegal.
to ask for it?
It's not currently deemed unconstitutional for law enforcement to purchase data. And this has been going on for a while, not just with AT&T.
Oh yeah, this has been going on for 15 years.
So it's-
John
especially-
Stewart came out about this.
Facebook,
where they were studying on journalists and they're spying on people and they're taking senators' phones and they were the war on journalists, the whistleblowers, all the stuff. That was
Right.
God. That was 2010, 2012.
Well, but
it never stopped.
But the ad programs with Google and Facebook have made it very easy to. Remember what we used to do when we were trying to do political marketing campaigns, and we would try to create lists.
They would give you every voter. Yeah.
Right. Well, so you can do that by, all you got to do is force these people to click on one thing, even if they don't buy something. You've got all of their data,
Yeah.
and then you've got a list of people that you have all of the demographic data. You didn't have to do a warrant request. You just had to pay a couple fractions of a penny for a click, and you've got all the demographic data you need and a lot of interest data about them. So because they have been bucketed in certain ad profiles, like customer personas, like we were talking about this morning, you know that, okay, they do a bunch of shopping for bridal stuff, or they do a bunch of searches for guns online because they've bought guns or something.
I know this sounds scary. I think this is just another step because you had the stingrays where the police would go up and they'd capture stuff on the phones and the wireless networks and was it dual? They've got you, but they can't introduce it in court, so they have, what is it, dual track, parallel track? What is it when they do that for the criminal stuff? Oh, they've caught the drug dealer. They can't tell you where he got it from, so they...
You're talking about parallel reconstruction.
Yeah, parallel reconstruction, exactly. So we know they've been doing that, and we know the data's out there. If AT&T has it, Palantir and other people have had it too. So I think this represents a change, a scary change in the government. Think back to 9/11. when they figured out the FBI didn't have access to Google or Yahoo because their computers were old, they were set up, they couldn't do that. You couldn't basically share that kinds of information for civil liberties. We have shredded all those in the last 20 years. So the idea that they're buying it, they were already getting it from AT&T.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they had
now
no choice.
Now it just seems like this is easier on them instead of because the demands from Twitter they used to make.
Exactly.
But there's a constitutional amendment that we have that's supposed to protect us from that sort of
It's written
thing.
by white guys a couple
protected?
hundred years. I
Are
think it was
we
like 1900
protected?
when it was written. That's an Ezra Klein joke.
So
Did you
this
get
is
it?
before America was born.
No, I'm just making fun of a journalist
I
who
know.
said the Constitution was written in like 1900 by white guys, and you're like, didn't you go to George Washington? Don't you have a
But
$20 million
it's just-
journalism project they just gave you? You should have taken more history.
Right.
It just
You're
seems like AT&T really it was just a better
Why not make some money?
idea. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was
It's
just
like
a
a
better
lobbyist.
offer for them.
Yeah, like a
it was
lobbyist
going to
slipped
happen
that into a
anyway.
bill.
Let's just try to make it.
And now they can pay for it.
Exactly.
This is just
Can't yell
so
that.
really we're talking about this with the wrong frame of reference. It's a positive story for the bottom line of AT&T's shareholders.
Right.
Good job,
Good,
AT&T.
good. So I don't need to switch.
Invest in AT&T, not
I
financial
think it was a
advice. Roll
smart
the thing.
business move. We're
It
protected.
may look like I'm boycotting all these companies. I'm
I
just
am.
poor because of the interest. The inflation.
You know what?
The
It's just-
inflation's made it so I'm accidentally, but like I mean, there's got to be a word for that, like the incel, but boycott.
Yeah.
Like, there's in boycott.
I don't know. I think
there's
it's
something there.
been
We'll
a
come up
little
with it.
positive.
The pieces are there. We'll
It's
put it
been a
together later.
little. It's been better to boycott. I mean, my wallet, but it's just
Boycotts work better.
boycotts.
Instead of penalizing
yeah,
someone,
I'm
you focus on
boycotting
someone you
somewhere
want to
else.
switch it to.
Yeah, I'm doing
Because
that
otherwise
too.
they fall back.
Yeah.
Like everybody got rid of Disney Plus, but the new Andor comes on, they're going to resign.
Right.
Disney Plus charged me. I got it 1 month to watch this old obscure Disney Channel original movie called Alley Cat Strike, and I canceled it and they charged me this month. I'm pretty mad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they do that. I'm still getting Netflix. It's just so confusing. It looks like there's like
I got
4
booted out of
subscriptions.
Netflix
Why?
because I have my sisters. I allow each of my
yeah, they
siblings
kick
to
you
give
out.
me
Of
one streaming
course.
service.
Of course.
Not two.
You shouldn't
Just
say that.
they're
on-
allowed to
you
each
shouldn't
have
say that
one. Well, it's
online.
none doesn't matter now. So I have to log into their Wi-Fi or some crazy thing. Like she's furious because she
I'm
has
in
to travel
several
on her
accounts. Yeah, no, I'm in
Wow.
several accounts. They do kick you out. I mean, they were
makes
losing
sense.
money.
I mean, it's not-
Yeah. But
phone. I just think of all the ex-boyfriends and ex-girlfriends that are suffering right now.
Right. Because of the password sharing.
They're going to think it was think of all the fights that Netflix has caused from people who may have been
You
apart
would
for 8
actually
years.
be surprised. I'm logged into still my ex-mother-in-law's account. You'll be surprised what a good relationship we have.
Pop up an old laptop from 7 years ago, and you're like, "Oh, look at that! I still got free Prime."
It's just funny. I'm sorry.
Jesse Daniels says, keep being great, Dina.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm trying.
Why are they shouting though?
Are they?
Keep being great.
Oh, I love them.
So,
Apparently, we're not supposed to use emojis of people crying anymore.
what's that problem?
Did you hear about the young man with the glasses that's trying to change the emoji without the teeth?
Oh, because he doesn't like it
Because he has the cutest little teeth. He's so cute. He's so
have not seen
adorable.
that.
Like
So
it
cute.
makes me want to keep the emoji because of him. He's so cute.
That cute, huh?
He's so adorable. But I love. He says it's just a stare. There he goes. He's adorable. And he even drew it out.
So what does he want to change it to?
He wants to change it from the original emoji with the teeth to the one where it's just
the
smiling
glasses.
because it's just a stereotype that they have.
that
but
actually is a great little emoji.
so cute. But if can you go down where he is smiling somewhere? There's a picture of him smiling, and if you zoom in, he has those cute little 2 front teeth. They're so
In
cute.
20 years, we're gonna have to watch some reality show.
And then there's also
He's gonna be on there for this one time that he did at 6.
hey, look, let me put my
He won't be
child
cute
somewhere.
anymore.
It's like the
But
Star
there's
Wars kid.
also another child. This was actually a major issue that's on. It's like a lawsuit on social media where a child wanted to get rid of because he's vegan. He wanted to get rid of all the meat emojis. It was causing him psychological issues to see them steak.
If he ate a steak, those psychological issues would go away.
I'm just trying to figure out, does he go to the grocery store with mom? Because that's triggering.
I saw the most amazing thing yesterday.
What?
What's that?
I saw a man reverse keto or reverse gluten. I don't know which one, but I've never seen it. He's got a breakfast sandwich. He eats the bun and leaves the sausage and the cheese on the plate. And I sat there thinking, I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen the exact opposite.
Right, yeah.
But usually it's bread carcasses, not meat carcasses.
Right.
Not carcasses.
I was so proud of him. I was like, you inspired me today. Turned out he was a vegetarian.
Okay.
I didn't tell him about the chicken soup,
why get the meal?
It had pancakes. I thought it was an English muffin or a croissant. It turns out it was pancakes.
I'm so confused. Why did he just not order pancakes?
Oh, it was a hotel. They were just food they were putting out for a conference.
Oh, I see.
That would be wild to have somebody go to like Burger King,
Like, what is going on?
order it, but then not eat the middle. Yeah, that would be.
But Burger King has a vegan burger. It's really good.
That's like an ex-wife who buys really expensive eggs
You and this ex-wife.
and then just does the egg whites.
I feel like this is a very specific
$8
story.
eggs, but just does the egg whites. And by the way, doesn't throw them away, puts them back into the container and puts that factor. I don't know. Maybe she was making vaccine shots.
Tell us
or
how you
something.
really feel. Really.
I mean, you're looking at these eggs. You're like, this is a bacterial hazard.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Wait, but you throw the yolks in a container, and you know what you can do with a bunch of good yolks?
But they're
Come on,
fattening.
stage.
You can give them to your
They're
husband.
not fattening.
They're not fattening egg
Yeah,
yolks.
that was
It's
the lie
high
of
in
the 80s.
cholesterol.
That's
It's not high in cholesterol anymore?
Yeah.
some Atkins propaganda.
Yeah, turns out it was made up.
Oh, I didn't know that. So I should
lot of
eat
people
like
think egg
a
whites.
1,000 egg whites.
No,
I mean,
you should
yolks.
eat the eggs.
the
Should
whole
I?
thing.
I eat the eggs. I'm sorry. I like the taste of the yolk.
I think that's part of it over time. You do that for 20 years. And it's like people who think cauliflower mashed potatoes are mashed potatoes until one day you teach them
I've
one little
never had
Lipton.
that.
And even the instant mash, they're like, oh my God, these are like your mother hates you. I'm sorry, nieces and nephews.
I feel like
I love you. She's the one who said you're not developed till you're 25.
I feel like there's a lot we should talk about on another
What was
show.
Thanksgiving? We didn't even get to like family stuff. We're
Right.
talking about business and Kissinger dying and
Well,
finance.
my Thanksgiving dinner was very,
Bananas?
very awkward.
oh yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean,
You know it's live, but go ahead.
Jacob was there. I mean, so Jacob's in the production booth today. But
You can see his toes.
we did a Friendsgiving with his close friends, family as well,
Oh right.
and their extended family.
I can't believe you're saying this live. You know
Yeah, I
he's
was gonna
right there.
say
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay,
I don't,
go ahead.
It's the awkward part was me. It wasn't them.
You remember you have a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Even I'm not this dumb, Mark.
He has gorgeous hair.
whatever.
Like I'm stuck on that.
We're buddies. He'll deal with it.
Make him come out and talk about
No,
it.
the issue was that we made it through almost the entire dinner before I slipped up and said something that indicated that I spent the better part of a year
Oh.
in Beaumont, and then I had to spend the rest of the evening explaining what it was like to be in prison.
Oh.
Why didn't you just
So
tell
a
them
bunch
you're
of
hunting hogs or something? Let's go down there, kill some of them hogs down in
Yeah,
Beaumont.
it was just in the situation. I couldn't.
Well, I mean, that's the accent I assume whenever he talks. That's in my head. It's
Wait,
just-
was your family uncomfortable, or
No,
is
my
just
family.
you?
I was uncomfortable because it was a whole. I didn't know the sense. It's my first time being with the extended family of this family. Like as it was parents and grandparents, like putting me on like a.
Yeah, they want to
It
know
didn't
what's
help
going
that they
on.
were a pastor, a Sunday school teacher, a retired police officer, and a federal magistrate judge that were at the table.
I mean, yeah, indeed.
They weren't, but
Well,
Wait, so I mean, how did Jacob feel?
Jacob thought it was hilarious. And me being uncomfortable
Oh
was
yeah.
amazing.
that's great.
Did he tell you to stop at all?
No, he just like put his. Jacob does the thing where he puts his head in his hands, just as like this, and like I don't know, tries to. Actually, he was in the other room. I don't think he was in there. He was with the kids' table, so
You
he
had kids'
missed the
table?
whole fun. I forgot.
It's
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. You have to have a kids' table. I'm not eating with. I
Our-
actually ended up eating with the kids.
Yeah.
I think we were out of kids this year.
Out of kids?
Out of
How do you
kids.
run out of? This sounds
No,
horrible.
well, there's a point in your. There's a point where everybody's old
the
enough
white
and they haven't had the
genocide.
sex.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, what? This is not okay.
There's a point when your family grows up enough that you don't have grandchildren there yet. People haven't started having them, or they've grown up.
There's just not enough white babies anymore.
Oh my God,
you know?
so hell no. Please stop.
Beautiful, beautiful
If
white
you could
babies.
flash my phone number on the screen, maybe we could fix some of that.
Yeah. Just your snap. I made a very quiet joke to my wife about importing a cherry pie when I was in Beaumont earlier in the year, and they go, and the grandmother that was sitting next to me goes, imported cherry pie? Where is that from? I'm like,
Oh my God! You could have said Trader Joe's,
You could have
Aldi's.
said Italy.
You could have made
Wait,
up anything.
where is cherry pie from?
Germany, probably because of the cherries.
Kazakhstan.
Stop it. I'm done.
The Germans have good cherries,
so
but who else good cherries? I don't know who else. Good cherries.
HEB. I think these particular pies were imported from
I'm-
Boston, San Antonio.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, they were from the what's the gas station? The big with the beaver.
Buc-ee's.
Are you
Buc-ee's.
saying
Buc-ee's,
the
yeah.
gas
Buc-ee's.
station?
Yeah, that's where it was imported from.
Give me your Texas card.
They have the best. Look, I'm sorry. They have the best everything. We make sure we stop there.
Yeah.
But
I had my bacon jam from Buc-ee's confiscated by the TSA.
Yeah, I saw that.
why?
Yeah,
Still unhappy.
because it was in your carry-on.
I think because it was a little
You can
warm or
bring
something.
food.
But I think I was in the carry-on. I didn't check it, but I
You
guess
didn't
she was
check
like, she wasn't trying. She was. I guess it was a little liquidy. Or
Liquidy.
something.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It
you can
moved,
take
and she
food.
goes, "You might want to go back and check it." I'm like, "Ugh, I don't like the family enough to get.
I hate it when they throw away my like perfumes.
So many
I just
stupid
want to
things. Nail
jump over.
clippers, razor blades, like tiny little. Of course, now that we learn, maybe they should have gotten those.
yeah, right.
Like a
But
nasty
why
paper
would
cut.
you have like those are like
Like for your shaving.
no, I know, but you put them in the chicken.
Oh, I don't check. I just.
Oh, you just
do
oh
carry
yeah,
on.
you just
just
now you have to
tight
just buy
roll and-
disposable when you get there.
Yeah, but that's not good.
I know. I'm sorry. But I'm so sorry. We're off track.
No, this is
fine.
this is the fun part.
Yeah.
This is the.
I'm trying to get back to the imported situation.
This is the important stuff. TSA.
Yeah, wait,
Government
why
overreach,
didn't you
stealing
just
bacon
say
jam?
imported from somewhere?
You could build
I was
a new
gonna
political
say.
party on stop stealing bacon jam, and I bet you'd get 20%.
Bacon jam sounds horrendous. You're such a millennial.
It's got
Are you
molasses.
have
I had
you
to
not
make
had
it. I had
the
to make it at
jams?
the kitchen table.
No, he has not had the jams at Buc-ee's. Have
He
you had the
doesn't know
jams
these.
at Buc-ee's?
No, I mostly stick to like the roast beef sandwiches and whatnot.
What?
The brisket sandwiches and the stuff that
The
they sell there.
the
Did you
jams
say
they
roast
make
beef?
are
You think it's Lion's
amazing.
Choice?
Maybe
No,
we should
I'm-
get sponsored by Buc-ee's.
They've got like a whole deli situation going on there.
We should do a thing here because here's the thing about Buc-ee's people don't get. You don't bring stuff from Buc-ee's. You take someone to Buc-ee's.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely
hot
is
take. Buc-ee's kolaches are ass.
not
Their hot
surprised.
sauces are ass.
I don't know.
I've never had either one of those things there.
Good.
Your choice of vocal description kind of reminds me of Musk.
Excuse
There
me.
is a better way to. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You didn't like them. I get it.
No, they're probably terrible. The gummy bears are amazing. Let's just list the good products.
Yeah, the jams are.
I didn't
amazing.
not like them. They were ass. Did you hear me?
I don't know what that means.
Terrible? Is that some cool thing
We're
we done?
elderberries.
Are y'all serious?
Is it wicked? It's not sus. We know that.
You
I
all
learned a
need
bunch
to stop
of new,
using
That's
ChatGPT.
cap.
We need context clues back.
I mean, we're far past bet and 100 or any of that. Now we're on to new stuff now.
Depends on how deep into TikTok language we are, because it depends on how much. What is your opinion on ass, right? So
What is? I'm sorry.
don't
That's true
Oh, don't
because
take me there. Never mind.
All I'm saying is if you
I
if you do
redact.
not have a child who is in daycare and you have pink eye, I know what kind of millennial you are, and I'm not impressed. You won't let your macaroni and cheese touch your meat on the plate, but you'll get pink eye. Come on, man.
right?
Yeah.
I'm
Pick
starting
Pick a
to
lane.
feel like
Pick a lane is what I'm saying.
I'm starting to feel like you're OCD.
No, I was trying to subtly walk into
Which
some
is-
funny jokes that were. I got another one for you.
Okay.
You'll like this one.
I'm scared.
Right? So you've heard the joke, but I was going to do it in a different way. My kid decided he didn't like Brussels sprouts. Mm-hmm. I said, you've only tried it once. You can't make a decision on that. We are a family of science. You have to try it at least 486 times. You see where the...
Yeah. Yeah.
That might have been only for you. So to be statistically significant, you need 486 emails to go out for a survey or answers in terms of qualitative marketing. So the joke is you can't just try something once. And the original joke was something else. It was testing whether or not you were where you were in a certain spectrum.
These are definitely dad jokes.
Well, they're
right,
definitely
Jacob?
something like that. Something
Did
like
we
that.
did we put the cart before the horse?
I was waiting. That was the big one for the week. To bring it back to news and interest, because we ran out of the original topics in like the first 5 minutes.
We
because
did?
We kept hopping from topic to
I'm
topic.
sorry.
But I did want to. No, it's great. That's going to be a tight.
It was so dark.
20 minutes of podcasting, and then the
It was
rest of it's
dark.
going to be fun stuff. But we did spend a good deal of time right before the Thanksgiving week, and it's been actually 3 weeks since we've done a real roundtable, because the last time we were on the air was at the the North American Blockchain Summit. Frank and I broadcasted about 16, 18 hours worth of content with the help of Sohail and Jacob and Jen producing. It was a lot of high quality content. We had, I think, interesting for this table and the type of discussions we had. We spoke with both. When I say we, the media group, not necessarily on our stream, but on the TBC stream, we spoke with both Vivek and RFK. Ted Cruz was on the stage. Cynthia Loomis was on the stage. We had Andrew Yang also in the studio. So a lot of political figures that are in and around the current election cycle, as well as elected officials. And they were all talking about, amongst other things, like their political platforms, blockchain and crypto policy, which to me, I would say, and you guys weren't there, but the conversation starter, I would say about these names, and you guys know who these people are, so you can riff off of it. The thing that was interesting to me is they were all very much on message with the type of things that we talk about and complain about with the crypto industry. Like Ted Cruz, surprisingly, it continues to be surprising on how on message he is in terms of defense of the crypto industry.
When you say on message, can you be a bit more specific?
Well, so on message, so
I know what it means, but what are they saying that puts them on message?
so not just like nominally for I love Bitcoin, I love innovation, I love crypto, blah, 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 which would you expect kind of the platitudes to come from any politician. He would be very specific in talking about the mining industry and how it works very hand in hand with the energy sector in terms of strengthening the electrical grid and getting very technical in terms of controllable load resources, trapped energy, and these types of industry terms that you really only hear on very niche corners of Twitter or social media or blogs. The thing you heard from Vivek that was very interesting, of course, his big, like, let's grab attention claim is he wants to cut the size of the federal government by 75%, which sounds nominally like a good idea, but also like, yeah, right, whatever. But he got very specific on...
That won't solve the budget problem.
It won't solve the budget problem. It's not realistic, but also if you can get it down by 10%, good job. You're probably going to make our lives a lot easier because the federal government mostly gets in the way of things. But
You think people remember we had those fights back in the 80s?
no, that's why they're headlines now.
Like the whole balanced budget amendment?
Yeah.
Everyone, we're going to cut it 3% every year until we're...
Right. But
Didn't seem to work.
the moment we got any type of a surplus, they're like, oh, great, we can spend it now. And they just never stopped doing that. But the thing that he said that was, again, specifically interesting was talking about the war on crypto. He actually used the phrase choke point,
really?
Operation Choke Point.
Cruz did it.
Vivek.
Oh, Vivek did.
Yeah. So we were setting up over on our side. We hadn't gone live yet. And he was one of the first speakers of the conference. I know who Vivek is by name, and I see his materials online, but I've never actually sat and stared at a picture of him to memorize what
Is
he
he
looks
tall
like.
or tiny?
He's a very small dude. I want to say, he was
Does he
like
wear lifts in his
5'7" or
cowboy
something,
boots?
Sohail? He was like really short.
That's called average height, dude.
I'm
do not
6'5",
know
so
height.
6'4",
not
6'5".
You ought to
average.
lie to people and tell people that you're 5'10" to really drive it home. I'm only 5'10". What are you talking about?
Sorry, so Hill, what were we saying?
Oh no, I love this discourse. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm finding his.
Is the monitor
height.
off, or did all of a sudden I turn colorblind and jump universes? Like that looks different than me, right?
No, it's just
That
Oh yeah,
red,
it's a little.
that red is the same as me. This is
Maroon.
dark. This is maroon. That's
Yeah.
red.
Is it
It's a
really?
little off, Jim. It's a
Okay,
little
just
off.
checking.
Anyway, my point was
I
didn't
think he's
know-
burying his height. So let's say he's like 5'4" or something.
Okay, sure, that
5'2".
works.
We all know that the only person who wins is the tallest.
174
I mean, you
centimeters.
can always tell when they stand on the in front of the mic.
I definitely towered over him when he came to our location. It was like, wow, okay, that's cool. Anyway, so my point being is I didn't know who was speaking on stage. I was just kind of like getting our set ready a little bit.
I can't stay in a studio with the heightest. I'm sorry.
You're gonna walk out,
I just want to make sure I'm ahead of the next outrage.
right? Okay,
He is the heightest. I feel, but I mean, I can deal with it because I'm a woman. I don't want to be like 6'5".
there you go.
Sorry, Jim. You're on your own.
I can't tell. It's been a while since you had a compliment. Your beard
mean-
looks really nice.
And I've been working on this sentence for like the last 5 minutes, and we
We're not letting you get
we
there.
keep coming back to how heightest I am, so I'm just going to bask in the compliments of being called tall. So it's fine. I'm cool. Keep going, please.
How's the weather up there?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I like it. So my point is, I didn't know who was talking on stage, and so I hear
Some short man was talking.
some short man on stage
God,
was
you guys,
talking
this
about,
is not healthy.
and
This is not healthy.
he was and he
Oh my
was
God, he's converting it to centimeters.
I'm like, who is it that's talking about Operation Choke Point and being very specific about the Department of Justice and the banking policies and all, getting very specific on actually how the history of Operation Choke Point and how it's been revived
Yeah, 'cause
specifically.
It was guns and accessories. Like you still can't buy gun accessories
Right.
on Amazon, but it was gun stores, credit cards, and now it was crypto. What else is? What else is?
Well, I mean,
going
at
after?
the time, it was like it was all kind of undesirable industries. So they lumped together guns and sex workers
Gambling,
and
right?
credit repair and weed and like a bunch of stuff. But it's been all of that same modus operandi has been pointed directly at the crypto industry and the blockchain industry.
Okay, listen to me, Mark. If you want access to American markets and American financial institutions, you're going to have to follow the rules. You see how much easier that is than whatever she was doing?
Right.
You gotta blame them.
Right.
You gotta blame. You gotta have a villain. Find a villain.
I need to find a villain.
You gotta find a villain, and use media to convince everybody that that's a villain. This has been going on for years.
That's true.
So his history lesson was what made me pay attention. And then the guy goes, "Oh yeah," Frank is like, "Yeah, that's Vivek. You don't know who that is?" I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." But to me, seeing he's a front runner. Like he's
He's at like 13%, right?
he's like number one, number two behind Trump. Which if Trump goes to prison, he could be the guy.
Yeah. Are you uncomfortable about his height?
I am.
I don't know if I can be led by somebody that
I am.
small. I don't know if I can do it. No, I don't even
I
vote.
don't know.
can't-
I'm more uncomfortable with his transphobia, etc.
Yeah.
You see, Dave Chappelle took a picture with Lauren Boebert.
Let's go.
What's up with you and Dave Chappelle? You a Dave Chappelle fan?
I like Dave. I mean, I don't know him like I know Dave Matthews.
You don't know
but
Dave?
I haven't met him.
I'll introduce you to him.
He's
Greatest comedian, but
he's a comedian.
until the
I've watched him, but
transphobic
I don't
stuff.
pretend. I don't like to. I don't like when you say, "Oh, I know Elon." And that's stupid stuff.
Parasocial.
I don't know
relationship.
Elon Musk.
I like watching Dave's stuff. I think he's interesting and probably one of the, I was watching the Mark Twain thing last night.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He's one of my favorite.
Apparently, he took a
comedians.
picture with Lauren Boebert. Is that the Congresswoman? Is it? I get some. They're mixed up sometimes because I don't pay attention.
No,
to
that
them.
you're thinking Marjorie Taylor Greene. Boebert is a commentarian who is kind of on the fringes of the Twitter. Yeah, is it? Or maybe am I wrong? Am I completely wrong?
She's a congresswoman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're
she's a
right.
congressman. Pull up. See if you because I
Oh,
thought it was
she's
on
very
Twitter.
young.
I'm thinking of someone else. Then.
How old is she? 36?
She's
Oh, she's beautiful and
she's 5
young.
foot.
Why are we talking
Zero.
about her height? Why are we?
Because she took a picture, and I think the picture was like anti-trans. It said, and all these three people say there are only two genders. especially with Dave's stuff with all the trans jokes. He's like, what? So like they're showing him, and they're like, oh, Dave's turning into a right-wing wacko because he's hanging
What was
out.
he doing hanging
fact,
out with Laura Boebert in the first place?
Her husband, what was it? Her husband did something horrible, but also like started dating her when she was like 14 or something. He was 25 or something.
Weird.
But also, yes, flash some sex crimes.
What is he, a French movie maker?
How do we get it? Not just French. Come on.
Just
now.
remember, whenever I make fun of Natalie
Polanski's.
Portman, the only movie anybody says they liked is what?
Oh,
The Professional. The only one they mention is the one that
assassin
she's like 10. And then when you find out the story of that
You
director.
mean Star Wars?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But it's
You're
what I'm
talking about
saying
George
is
No.
Lucas?
No, I don't know the guy's name.
Polanski?
The guy who wrote, the guy who wrote directed The Professional.
George Lucas.
Yeah, I remember a lot of explosions in that one.
We're trying to be serious here, and this guy just won't let us stay on.
I'm too scared to joke and be serious. Like I don't even know what direction
We
to
got
go.
3
Like
weeks worth of pent up jokes and yeah.
I'm afraid to be serious, and I'm afraid to say something that's.
I want to tell a joke for you.
Oh God. Go ahead.
This is stolen. It's off somebody on Reddit. I'm sorry, I don't
But
remember
the
the guy's
fact
name.
that you already said it's stolen is
Well, it's not-
actually
it's-
good.
Well, I mean, I'm not going
like
to take
that.
credit for it.
You
I've
took
got my own joke.
accountability.
I'll tell you after this, which is not nearly as funny, but
How important is it right now to take accountability for things?
I should look the guy up and find it. But here's what he goes. He goes, my girlfriend recently sat me down and says, listen, Valentine's Day is very important to me. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see what she has planned.
Done. I can't deal.
That's a great joke. It's short, too.
It is
Kinda
short.
So this story, Laura Boebert's husband did jail time for lewd exposure in a bowling alley. She was there. That I can see why the Marjorie
what is
Taylor
lewd
Greene thing was, because
exposure?
didn't she get in trouble for lewd exposure or doing some stuff in a movie theater too?
See, this one
recently?
doesn't make sense for me. This
don't
is
know
in
what that
Salon,
means.
but they're not talking about that woman who just lost the election in Virginia, who was literally on one of those OnlyFans kind of sites.
Oh my God.
How dare someone say something about that? But then they're
Well,
guys, they're in politics. They're all creepy.
Yeah,
Everybody
that
attached
is-
to somebody in politics is creepy.
Denny Hastert, say no more.
Anyone attached to anyone in politics is creepy.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
anyway,
take that.
Vivek,
I'm gonna
right?
take that. I'm gonna
I'm
take
sure
that
he's got a
in.
wacky cousin selling
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. No, so probably any politician is going to have problematic thoughts and policies. I just thought it was very interesting to hear from a front runner some very informed and intricate details, like demonstrating thorough knowledge of our industry. It could.
that's pretty much Bill Clinton, Ted Cruz territory.
Anybody who's going to be on the presidential ticket for any party is going to be problematic in some way. I'm an anarchist. I'm not going to like 90% of what they say, but I was impressed to hear some positive things from that.
Here he is trying to be polite and thoughtful, and we're just making fun. We're doing the exact same thing to Vivek. We're just tearing into him. I'm just surprised you didn't play it. Don't want no short man. But again, we can't play music. So this is going to be a new complaint. What does he do?
So Jendel Predist, I think this is referring back to the
Graham
person-
diet?
eating the
I was calling it anti-keto.
The bread carcass thing.
yeah, the bread
the
carcass.
bread
What
carcass.
is this?
Where people like order
How
stuff
do you
and just
relate
leave the bread.
carcass to food?
Carcass.
Thank you.
Yeah, bread doesn't have a carcass.
No,
Especially McDonald's
Oh, are
bread.
you
It
serious?
doesn't ever
If you have some
change.
good sourdough, that
doesn't ever
definitely has a
change.
carcass. You got a
That's terrifying.
when you cut
nice
the
crusty bread.
ants won't eat it.
Ants won't eat it. Actually, it's all of the pieces of like the bread, the meat. It doesn't rot.
yeah.
Isn't that impressive?
That's awesome.
Just imagine what is happening inside.
Nothing. That's
And then
what's
that's it creates like a very strong digestive product you can use to help other people
I
be
love
healthy.
where you're going with this.
oh yeah, the transplant, the
Yeah, are we
transplant,
doing a
digestive
circle ending?
products.
It's like power. What do you what?
I'm gonna every time I have a thought, I'm gonna have you rewrite it into some different words because I'll just come out and say something like
I use code conversation. I'm sorry, but you understand what I'm saying.
Well, their children may watch this, Aunts, people you go to dinner with when you take your teenage son, you want to make them feel comfortable.
I
Hopefully
was
they're not
trying to
watching
talk in
this.
code, and that's what got me in trouble. Imported cherry pie.
It does sound like it's something
do
wrong.
that.
Like I don't. That's
Wait,
either
are
money
you trying to
laundering
get
or-
me to do it for you? I'm not doing it for you. No, no. I'm not getting in trouble with.
Yeah, Mark, why'd you pick cherry? Like,
Well, because they were talking about cherry pies at the table. Like, what's your
Oh, my
favorite pie?
Lord.
This, that, and the other thing. And I said, yeah, you know what? I had an imported cherry pie last Thanksgiving that was amazing. I said it quietly to my wife. It was not to the table.
100%.
You were
sounds
not
like
quiet
you got something
enough.
from international.
Yeah.
The
it
world
sounds
market.
like
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like you could have just said Italy or
I
Even
could have
though-
lied.
Greece.
I kind of, but I did like this look to my wife, and she's like, And I looked over to the host, and they're like, I'm like, okay, well, I imported it through BOP custody.
okay. Are we skirting around the fact that it sounds like you imported a sex slave?
I swear to God, I was
Jesus.
really
You know-
trying to keep it like
No.
PG.
You guys have got to quit watching Hulu. I just
No,
picked
Wait,
it.
Degrassi's
so
on HBO
Hill,
Max,
can you
Jim.
find
Oh,
out
my
where?
bad.
to
HBO Max.
that point, the topics that we talk about here on this table got me in trouble talking, and they were completely innocuous topics. Would get me in trouble in the mess hall, in the chow hall in prison. Imagine you're sitting in a room full of felons, trying to talk about a warehouse full of miners.
Oh my God.
Bitcoin miners. But all the terminology you talk about with Bitcoin miners in a warehouse, to that group of people, I got told to shut the F up quite a few times. In that,
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
You're not good at code. I'm sorry.
yeah, well, I wasn't even, I was just trying to be literal. I was just trying to talk about Bitcoin miners. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I just try to
So
say
can you guys-
so much that they never have a chance to grasp onto it. Like my conversation style is the 24-hour news channel. You just want to move on to something so much worse that they can't focus on something you did. In the
Right,
past.
yeah. Flood the zone with keywords.
What do we call that in
Keyword
politics?
Flooding the zone, or what's the ocean reference we used to have? When you wanted to push stuff into SEO, so you
Like, yeah.
Peeing in the ocean?
What?
you know,
What?
you need to get out here on the table if you want to talk. So Hill,
Quit.
you were so funny, and now he's like,
We haven't done
wants
this
to
in a
jump
while,
in.
I think we need to have someone.
That little doubles. He's just off a step. He's like a mumble rapper who can't remember the lyrics.
So, can you please figure out where cherry pies originated from?
Well,
On
cherries
it.
would have been Northern Europe, so
I'm very curious to know where you could have imported it from.
Definitely Germany, Dutch.
Like a plausible, yeah. I would.
Queen Elizabeth in England, the first cherries.
we
Okay.
go.
That's cap.
That can't be.
Do you know what cap means? Cap.
No, I don't. Please tell me.
It's a lie. It means
cap
it's
is a lie.
They're not telling the truth.
Yeah.
Really? I'm going to do that to my nieces and nephews.
Don't.
No, I'm not lie to them. I'm going to catch them.
Don't use cap.
No?
No, I get yelled at a lot for.
They said wicked the other day. I'm looking at them like, you do realize that's just Boston, right? They're like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's wicked smart. And they go, what? Because they had no clue. They just made some word up.
Boston, it's more of London.
Well, it's a New England. They do a lot, though. Yeah.
My boy's wicked smart. That's my best Ben Affleck impression. Actually, that's not my best Ben Affleck impression.
Which would be what would be your best Ben Affleck?
When how people said I look like Batman, and then you pull up the picture, and it's the one where Ben's like 70 pounds overweight, and his belly's showing as he's coming off a plane, and his pants are just. I look like Ben Affleck between roles, not Ben Affleck. But hey, I look like Batman, right?
Yeah.
If he's
I'm
getting off a
sorry,
plane,
he's
and
not. He
wearing-
was not my favorite Batman.
Who was your favorite?
The original.
Michael
what's it?
Keaton?
Yeah,
You know, the original.
original. No,
Adam
that
West.
original. My
Adam
time.
West.
No,
What's
Michael
going
Keaton was
on right
great.
here? What's going on right here?
Y'all haven't seen the video?
No.
Is this a recent?
No.
Okay.
Unmatched him on a date event. Is he dating?
Yeah, so I forgot who this.
Who's
It
married
is
to
kind of
Jennifer
recent
Garner?
because this
That's old news.
No, what? He's with J Lo.
he DM'd this.
Who's with Jennifer Garner?
He DM'd this person, and on Riot, and she unmatched him, and and he DM'd her on Instagram, saying,
Who's he think he
"Why'd
is,
you unmatch
DiCaprio?"
me? It's me." Ben Affleck.
Well, I mean, okay, that's happened to me with Jamie Foxx, and I'm just like, come on now, we know it's not you. And then they DM me on Facebook, and they're like, well, I'm gonna give you a safe word, and they just kept going on for like, I'm like, dude, if you are Jamie Foxx, like, you're gonna have to do better than this. I need your assistant to call me. So,
Right.
but they do. It is kind of like, of course, you're not gonna believe it.
Yeah.
But was it really him?
No, it's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
one of those voice things.
No, this was years ago. No voice things. It was him. I don't know why we're talking about this.
I don't know either, but
This
it
is not
happens.
this is not the Ben Affleck that I look like.
Naveen, why did you unmatch me? He said, it's me.
It's me.
Wow.
Somebody's
Can
been
I
in
just
LA
make a
long
side
time.
note? You know, if Jamie Foxx ever just kind of comes across this conversation,
Sure.
just someone is out there pretending to be you, trying to contact me.
Imagine a lot of people are pretending to be Jamie Foxx. That sounds like a really easy thing to pull off.
And going back to your comedian of the hour, Dave Chappelle's got this story he tells on the late night shows, or did for a while, where he was never on Twitter, and somebody created a fake Dave Chappelle on Twitter, but it looked like a real account, and he's like, I'm just gonna let it go
Before
because
Musk ruined it, right?
right, because he was funny. He's like, this guy's actually making up some jokes that are. I'll see where this goes.
And technically, he could use the jokes, right?
And so then the fake Dave Chappelle starts beefing with Cat Williams.
Oh no!
And then and then Cat Williams is on Twitter saying some kind of things that were hurtful to Dave Chappelle. It's like, well, so he sees Cat Williams at an event or something, and he goes, "Hey, so I just want you to know, like, that's not really me on Twitter saying all these things that you're kind of responding to." And he goes, "Twitter? I don't have a Twitter account." There's a fake Cat Williams too.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Everything is fake.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a fake story?
No, it's a real story. You can look. It was on. He told the story on Conan O'Brien one time. Yeah.
That's why they got to buy the $7 verification.
Yeah.
It's
up now.
15.
It's up. Well, the monthly versus annually. And now they have the plus.
Yeah.
So I did the plus to try to see what Grok was like.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Did you
what?
get it?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I haven't even updated the app or something like that. By the way, it is terrifying watching the number of people using ChatGPT 3.5 to do stuff. Was watching what they're doing. You're like, are you
What do you
kidding me?
mean?
They use it for everything.
I mean,
Contracts and emails and tweet. And you're
Time
watching
out.
that. You're like, are you kidding
he
me?
was advising me to use it to get better help with my resume.
Yeah, but there's a difference between using it to learn, understand, and grow and conversate, and then look what they've done
To
me, Mark.
conversate, but my son
You know
was
what?
here.
I was like, this is a biggie earlier. That's not my fault.
We found out through the podcast we had with the high schoolers that there are students who actually use it to have conversations with chat like their friends. Because
Jim does that. You're
That
looking
is
at someone who
amazing. I
does
don't
that.
it is not amazing. It's disturbing. So this is how they make friends because they're too shy to talk to other students.
It is the reverse of that silly OnlyFans stuff our buddy was doing. Mm-hmm. Instead of chatbots to talk to lonely girls, it's literally. In my day, we would write down the topics on paper. We would pick up the school directory, which had everybody's number. We'd unravel the phone,
Yeah.
make sure it went in our room instead of our sister's,
Yeah.
and we would call girls and we would go through the list of topics.
That's problematic.
And
So now that you said school directory, now I know
how old?
that I'm not.
This is pre-Facebook.
Like I didn't even.
For sure.
I'm on Facebook.
My high school of 3,000 people.
I think I was
had
the
everyone's
first one on
number.
Facebook.
So Hill, it's
they had
problematic
fathers
only
who yelled at
because only in that way that everybody from a certain era is by default problematic because of the age. You know, it's nothing problematic about calling girls. It's just that we're that old that we're probably.
Oh, just having a directory that doxes all the.
That's what I was
that's
saying.
problematic itself.
Can you imagine now?
It's like
everybody's phone number. Yeah.
But you have the directory of social media. You can go contact anybody anywhere.
honestly, to be honest, like so that's not to go back to a boring conversation like warrantless wiretaps, but like couldn't the FBI go back and just like purchase a phone book or a school directory, and it's kind of like what they're doing with AT&T, getting metadata and yeah, it's Because
Yeah.
they're purchasing metadata. They're not
Yeah.
purchasing recordings of conversations.
Yeah, they have all those.
Yeah.
Are libertarians pro or anti phone book?
That's a great question. I would say most of the libertarians that existed during that time would have been more progressive than the era of now and would have been just kind of like anti-phone book in the way that the Unabomber is anti-technology.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
They're like Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber Manifesto.
Stop it.
Like he was anti-technology. He had a great philosophy until he started bombing people, which is basically he predicted the rise of the surveillance capitalist state, and then he said, "Well, I'm just going to put anthrax and bombs and stuff and make
Did he put anthrax?
I want to say that was maybe that's maybe.
Did they ever figure out who did the anthrax?
I don't know. They attributed it to him, but whatever. My point being is he did some
Foul stuff.
for that probably.
It's so
Didn't
odd,
help his
though. How
cause.
can someone that smart do something so stupid in terms of what do you think he was going to fix? If you're talking about historical trends that change a nation of 330 million, it's the biggest economy on the planet. How is messing with a couple bureaucrats at any level going to do anything?
So I think the thought process must have been, look, what I'm saying is if people just read what I'm saying and people just use their brain to understand what it is that I'm saying, then they'll certainly change their mind, which is what a lot of intellectual academic people think.
Wouldn't a balloon of glitter
they overestimate the intelligence of
painting
the
a
average
car?
person. But well, see, the thing is he was not doing this so that he could get notoriety. He was doing this to hold newspapers ransom to print his manifesto.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Right. Print the manifesto or bad things happen.
Right. And so his critical flaw was most people read it and go, okay, whatever, that's not realistic. Then they didn't have the ability to kind of digest what was being said. Also, he destroyed his credibility. Well, we can just discount everything he said because the man's obviously crazy.
Yeah.
Which, yes, he was, but that doesn't mean he was wrong.
How do you guys feel about glitter bombs? Worst thing ever? Funny? What do you think about it?
What?
Well,
Glitter
you get
bombs?
mad and you put a bunch of glitter in an envelope and send it off to...
He probably could have gotten further with glitter bombs.
Wait, is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. These days, who knows? But apparently it's
Are you sure you don't know?
I'm positive.
I feel like you know.
I'm positive. If I had done these kinds of things, they would not be brought up.
Right.
I'm not trying to hide in plain sight here. I'm a good boy. I pay my taxes. I go to bed by 9 o'clock.
Oh,
I have a cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cats are very mysterious.
I got an off-the-air glitter bomb story for you. Can't talk about it on
Terrifying.
Here. Yeah.
Jesus.
We can talk about a banana hammock. I have a fun story about that. You know
the
what?
hell
We'll
is
save it for another
that?
time.
Yeah, well, we're running out of time, so it's probably better that we start to our off-the-air stories. We've been on here for a little bit over an hour. We've covered
That was
a lot
just
of
a teaser
territory.
without a story.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. I bought a banana hammock for fun. That's it. That's the story.
Okay.
And realize you can't wear those out.
I learned so much here.
Well, it is an educational
That's so
show.
terrifying to hear.
No, right? I've learned so much here. Every time, just everything.
If it was the first half hour you were referencing, I could kind of...
That
I've learned a
follows
lot.
the banana hammock story is
Was the banana hammock a cap?
I don't know.
Did I use it correctly? Or
No.
cap is just like you say, ooh, cap.
That's cap.
That's cap.
That's cap.
This is going to be the most popular short on the channel for next week. I'm
That's
sure
cap.
of it.
Bananas.
There you go. You used it correct.
Bananas.
All right.
Bananas.
Bananas.
Join
and
us next
happy
week.
birthday, chat.
Oh,
Chat?
exactly. Yeah,
It's their birth. How old?
don't
One?
anthropomorphize it.
How old are they?
A year.
Dang, they're getting sued before they even turn one. That's like getting a broken leg before you start walking.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the Altman saga next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Altman saga. Is it a trilogy yet? I don't want to see it till it's a trilogy.
Sorry, Mark, let's take us out of here.
All right.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.